When the world becomes too painful, the human instinct is to retreat. We pull back, we build defenses, and we shut the world out completely to protect ourselves from being hurt again. That instinct is the core of Pink Floyd's 1979 concept album, The Wall. The story follows Pink, a deeply alienated rock star. Pink spends his entire life building a mental barricade. He starts laying the bricks in childhood, beginning with the loss of his father in the battlefields of World War II. From there, every mistreatment, every betrayal, and every trauma adds another layer to his defenses. As an adult, sitting alone in a hotel room, Pink discovers his wife is having an affair. That agonizing realization is the catalyst. He lays the final bricks, cementing his emotional isolation. This exact moment, the second the psychological barrier is sealed shut, is where the track Hey You begins. But instantly, he realizes his fatal mistake. Pink wanted a shield against his pain. Instead, he built an inescapable, suffocating prison. The music itself acts as a physical reflection of his entrapment. The opening notes don't sound grand or triumphant. They sound painfully hollow. The band achieves this by using an acoustic guitar with a Nashville tuning. The heavy, low E string is removed entirely, replaced by a high E string tuned 2 octaves higher. The resulting chords don't blend into a warm harmony. The notes ring out separately, echoing off a cold, empty room. Guitarist David Gilmour enters playing a fretless bass, taking the lead vocals in the first person. This is Pink realizing he is trapped, frantically begging someone, anyone, to acknowledge his existence. He directs his pleas outward to the only people he sees, the crowd standing in the aisles of his concerts. But they are completely emotionally detached, staring back with vacant, fading smiles. This chart maps the vocal arrangement. After the solo, the perspective shifts abruptly. Roger Waters takes over as a cold, third-person narrator. Pink's desperate plea is cleanly cut off by this sharp divide. His isolation has rendered his cries for help completely mute. With the physical reality established, the panic fades into rot. Pink's mind starts to break down. To capture the sound of this decay, Chief Audio Engineer James Guthrie brought power tools into the recording studio. He took a handheld power drill, bored into dense material, recording the whine of grinding friction. That awful, scraping sound effect plays under a horrific turning point in the lyrics, and the worms ate into his brain. Maggots consume dead flesh. Pink's physical body is still breathing in that hotel room, but the imagery is biological rot. Cutting yourself off from humanity isn't safety. Without the friction and connection of the outside world, the mind decays. Pink is experiencing a literal, creeping mental death. Pink's fictional breakdown wasn't invented out of thin air. While isolated on tour, songwriter Roger Waters received a phone call. He learned his wife had fallen in love with someone else, plunging him into the exact misery and helplessness that he would write for his protagonist. The band as a whole was looking out at sold-out arenas and realizing their massive audiences were entirely detached. The fans were cheering for the spectacle, completely numb to the raw emotional pain the band was pouring into the music. The lyrics are a desperate attempt to break that numbness. Waters asks the listener, "Would you help me to carry the stone?" A direct reference to the myth of Sisyphus, cursed to push a boulder up a hill for eternity. The crushing weight of existence can only be survived if we carry the burden together. He borrows from the Gospel of Matthew, begging us not to bury the light. It is a demand to fight against the comfort of apathy. This depiction of total psychological collapse was actually deemed so dark, so bleak, that director Alan Parker cut the Hey You sequence entirely from the 1982 film adaptation. Decades later, the song remains a haunting anthem because the threat never goes away. Pushing people away doesn't protect us, it ensures our destruction. Our only hope of surviving the cold is standing together.